Welcome back to my channel Criminology and Forensic Science, where science meets crime. Before modern laws, before psychology, before science, there was fear. Fear of demons, fear of evil spirits, fear that crime was not human but supernatural. In today's video, we will learn about the pre-classical school of criminology, a time when crime was explained not by reason or science, but by demonology, superstition, and divine spirit. The pre-classical school refers to the earliest period in criminological thought, roughly from ancient times until the 17th century, when crime was not seen as a human act but as a result of supernatural forces. People believed that criminals were possessed by demons, controlled by evil spirits, or cursed by God. Crime was viewed as sin, not a societal problem. Punishments were designed to appease angry gods or to purge the evil from society, not to rehabilitate or understand the criminal. There was no real concept of personal responsibility. If someone committed a crime, it was often assumed they were under the influence of dark powers. During the pre-classical era, demonology, the belief in supernatural evil, dominated explanations for criminal behavior. It was thought that devil could tempt humans into committing sins. Witches and heretics were considered dangerous because they were supposedly in league with evil forces. Crimes like theft, murder, or heresy weren't seen just as threats to individuals, they were attacks against the divine order. Trials often involved bizarre methods to prove guilt. If you floated in water, you were guilty. If you sank, you were innocent, but probably dead. This thinking led to witch hunts, inquisitions, and brutal executions, especially during the Middle Ages. Religious institutions, especially the church, played a massive role in shaping early criminal justice. Laws were based on holy scriptures and interpreted through the lens of spiritual purity and moral cleansing. Confession, public penance, and divine retribution were common. Superstitions flourished. Eclipses were seen as signs of coming evil, and bad harvests were blamed on sinners within the community. Judicial systems often used trial by ordeal, walking on hot coals, holding burning irons, being thrown into rivers. The idea was simple. If God protected you from harm, you were innocent. If not, you were guilty and punished severely. Punishments during the pre-classical period were cruel, public, and often fatal. Because crime was seen as a form of spiritual contamination, the response had to be harsh to cleanse society. Methods included burning at the stake, dismemberment, public flogging, hanging, and stoning. Torture was widely accepted, not to punish but to force confession, based on the belief that truth needed to be painfully extracted. There was no concept of fairness, proportionality, or rehabilitation. Punishment was designed to terrify others into obedience. One of the most important things to understand about the pre-classical school is that criminals were not seen as rational beings making choices. Instead, they were viewed as passive victims of supernatural or divine forces. There was no attempt to understand motives, social conditions, or psychological factors. Human behavior was thought to be predetermined by destiny, curses, or divine wrath. This worldview left no space for reforms, education, or preventive measures. Instead, fear ruled society, fear of God, fear of demons, and fear of the unknown. While many pre-classical beliefs sound extreme today, they influenced the formation of early legal systems. Early codes like the Code of Hammurabi or even biblical laws carried ideas of divine justice and retribution. an eye for an eye being one clear example. Even today, traces of demonological thinking survive in the idea of evil criminals, in harsh punishments for moral shocking crimes, and in how some societies still attribute crime to moral failure rather than social causes. Understanding the pre-classical school helps us see how far criminology has evolved from blaming devils to seeking justice through reason and science. From fear of demons to understanding human behavior, criminology has come a long way. But remembering the pre-classical era reminds us when we let fear, superstition, and revenge rule justice, we lose sight of fairness, truth, and human dignity. If you enjoyed this dive into history, give this video a like, subscribe for more criminology content, and comment below. What shocked you most about the pre-classical school? Which trials, trial by order, or the belief in demon possession?